7 qualify for nationals. I guess if you can just talk to me about how excited you are about those 7 student athletes earning the right to go to Bradenton, Florida.
Yeah, just we're all proud of them. Our coaching staff did a great job this season, and we last year this time we were ecstatic about 2, and our goal was at national championships when we were there last year was to go back with 4, and so to come back with 7, it's amazing. There's really no words to describe it. It's just the hard work that the student athletes have put into the season. I think 5 out of the 7 are seniors. They deserve it. They've worked hard for 4 or 5 years now, and each one of the athletes has a good story behind them. And tagging along as a freshman with Ellie Earl Rouse, and she gets that experience as a freshman with 6 other peers, and then you have Tatiana, who's a junior, and all the rest of the seniors that have worked so hard. So as a coaching staff, we're floating on cloud 9 right now. It's great. They all deserve it. I wish we could bring more with Chase and Dustin, but we're really proud of who we have, and we just look forward to next week. It's going to be fun. I think we have a lot left in the tank, and have some really good performances so we can try to meet our ranking and maybe do better.
And 7 is the most you've had during your tenure here at Humboldt State, but I guess talk to me about, you mentioned trying to double the number at last year's meet, but I guess can you talk a little bit more, expound upon that a little bit more about just the sheer number of student athletes that do get to make that trip?
Yeah, it's extremely hard. I mean, to put things in perspective, when I ran at Humboldt 30 years ago, and my steeplechase time then was number 2 in the country. And my point being is that time that's being run now doesn't even get you to nationals. It's gotten really hard. So coming from that perspective of being there, and knowing where it's at now, for us to make it with our small school of Humboldt State, with as many athletes as we do, you need to recognize how hard it is to get there. It's so hard to get to national championships these days, but our kids have done so well. They're so focused, and I got to hand it to my coaches. All my coaches have done a great job in getting everybody prepared for things physically, but also mentally. So, but I just can't talk enough about how happy we are with the hard work they've done, and it puts things in perspective. And I don't think we've had this many athletes at national championships since the mid-90s. That's 20 years ago. And we're always happy with 1 or 2 to have some representation for the university, but to have 7? Are you kidding me? It's like, everything lined up nicely. It's been a great season. We kept them away from injury. The trainers have done a great job, and just everything worked to the peak. And so we're not satisfied. We got another meet to go, and we have, like I said earlier, we have a lot left in the tank. I think that if we can get them into the national championships with the right mind frame, let's go for some All-Americans, and not just be happy with what we have. Let's go there and finish the season. So that's what we're going to go there. We're going to go there with a business-like atmosphere, a business-like approach, and we're going to go there and we're going to get things done, and we'll enjoy ourselves afterwards. But let's finish the season and not just be satisfied for just making it. We want to do well there.
How much of a difference does it make this year, knowing that you have student athletes making the trip again to nationals that have been there before, that can show these other folks this is how it's done, this is the kind of attitude you have, this is the kind of business-like approach you need to take at nationals?
Well, the peers are real important with Elizabeth, Ariel Oliver, and Corey Gilly. They've all been to national championships, and nobody of the other 7 have. So they're going to lend some really good experience. And those are our captains. And that's why we take them to big meets before we get to nationals, so they can get that big meet experience and understand. Because when you go to nationals, a lot of times it's lonely there. It's lonely. You're there with one other person and your coaches, and that's it. And now we have 7. So it'll be more like a team atmosphere there, and having those experienced seniors there are really going to help everybody else. And it'll kind of set the tone and the atmosphere. But we're just another trip, another business trip. We're going to go out there and take care of things and keep a level head. Not get emotional about things, not too happy, not too down. We're just going to go there with just a good level head and, just stick to our routine. That's all we can ask. That's what we've been doing all season long, and that's all we can ask.
Would you like to add anything else?
We're going to miss our seniors, and it's just like 5 of the 7 athletes are our seniors, and I've been touting our seniors all season, especially in the women's side. We have a relatively young men's side, but we're graduating a lot of seniors this year. To take it as far as we have with those seniors, we got the most out of them. And when I say we, I mean myself and the coaching staff. We got the most out of them, physically and mentally. And it shows a good example for the upcoming student athletes that are in our program, that are in younger ages, underclassmen. It just shows a good example of what they could do. And like I mentioned before, this whole thing is contagious. It's like when somebody makes it to national championships, then you have a little belief in yourself that you can make it too. And that's what's happened. One after another, you have these record-breaking performances, not only for school records amongst this group that's going, but amongst the others that are maybe in a provisional mark, and then they qualify. I mean, Tatiana was number 22, now with the scratch down, she's 14th, and she put herself in that position, and she deserves to be there, and she's number 14 going into it. And it's just an example of her trying so hard because of her teammates achieving the marks ahead of her in other events. And it's contagious. And here you go, at the end of the day, we got 7 people going, and the coaches couldn't be any happier than that. And I'm proud of all of them. They deserve it. And we're just going to keep our head straight and finish the season strong, and that's what we can hope for. So that's all I got.